The Oscars used to be must-see TV, but not so much anymore. It seems actors have sensed their shrinking influence and have gone off the deep end to prove themselves important. Their ridiculous incomes and absurd adulation have given them a warped sense of reality, as demonstrated by the idiotic event that was the most recent Oscars production. But it isn't just the stars themselves. Television gives us a warped sense of reality. Everybody is young, fit, and beautiful, so we believe that the whole world looks like that. Until we go to Walmart. Go to the Walmart, look around at all those lovely average people, and remember, that's reality. That's what the world looks like. But before we get haughty, let's remind ourselves before we go that we will fit right in. Let's quit fooling ourselves and admit our mental vision of ourselves is often quite different from the reality that the world actually sees, both physically and spiritually. Spiritually speaking, we should be careful in talking about all those sinful people out there. Instead, we need to look deeply into our own heart. It's quite possible that how we see ourselves is very different from how God sees us. God sees the real us, who we are on the inside. There's no hiding from Him. And His Word tells us to get real about who we are as well, because it's possible we may fit in with those sinners we so despise. It was certainly true of physical Israel. After telling them not to make alliances or marriages with the pagan idolaters in the Promised Land, Deuteronomy 7 verses 1 through 5, God reminded Israel they were a holy people chosen by God as His treasured possession. For you are a holy people to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a people for His own possession out of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth, Deuteronomy 7:6. However, lest they get haughty and think they're better than the people they were replacing, God reminded them of the reasons He chose them, His love and promise. Because the Lord loved you and kept the oath which He swore to your forefathers, Deuteronomy 7, verse 8. He also gave them a couple of negatives that could have been reasons not to choose them. First, they were not a large people, but were actually a small nation, unlike many others that could have been more powerful, Deuteronomy 7, verse 7. Second, they were not a righteous or morally superior nation. That's in Deuteronomy chapter 9, verses 4 and 5. In fact, he says in verses 6 and 7, they were a stiff-necked and rebellious people. The harsh reality is most of us aren't as spiritually lovely as we claim and don't want to face it. We want to pretend we're better than we are when we're often just like Israel. Thankfully, Jesus came to transform us into a much better image, His own, 2 Corinthians 3, verse 18. But that takes a lot of work. And it starts with honestly admitting our own sin, and is followed by repentance, confession, and baptism. Then it's a daily process of transformation into a truly beautiful soul that honors God, Romans 12, verse 2. Won't you leave the ugliness of sin behind? If not, at least come back tomorrow for more Morning Minutes in the Bible. Until then, this is James McClenny hoping you have a great day.